your Wavy Ocho, and I'm gonna be watching Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar ended the UFC fighter career. Now I never know that Brock Lesnar ended somebody's career in a UFC fight. I know he fought in the UFC fight, but ended a UFC fighter career. You about to see who he ended, who career he ended.
And the funny thing about this fight here too is we shared a locker room. Him and me and Heath Herring. His locker room was across the hall, and everything was fine until his entrance music hit. And on their way past my locker room, he said, "I'm going to show this mf'er that this ain't WWE. That this is for real." And so I went out and I said, "Well, all right."
Damn.
One fight, and the career of a veteran heavyweight was erased overnight. The man who had gone to war with legends in Japan was broken in 15 minutes by a fighter many dismissed as a fraud. In the early days of mixed
And plus, Brock has an amateur background, so that's it's gonna help. You feel me?
martial arts, before the UFC became the polished global brand that it is today, there were fighters who built their names in the chaos of pride. Among them was Heath Herring, a heavyweight known as the Texas Crazy Horse. Herring carved out a reputation as one of the most durable and battle-tested fighters in the world. He fought 17 times in Pride, going to war with
Damn.
legends like
Knocked him clean out. Nigga knocked him out. One punch.
Antonio Nogueira, Krokop, and even a young Fedor Emelianenko. He wasn't unbeatable, but he was undeniably respected. By the time he stepped into the UFC in 2007, his resume was stacked with fights against some of the best heavyweights the sport had ever seen. When he beat Jake Congo in March of 2008, people saw him as the type of gatekeeper who could test anyone. He was experienced, tough, and impossible to intimidate. That's when the UFC matched him against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar walked into UFC 87 with the world doubting him. Just months earlier, in his UFC debut, he had been submitted by Frank Mir in just 90 seconds. A loss that critics pointed to as proof that he was never meant to be inside the octagon. To many in the MMA
Well, he eventually proved everybody wrong that he is meant to be in the octagon.
community, Lesnar was a fraud, and standing across from him that night was Heath Herring, a veteran
Heath Herring
of pride, and the perfect test to expose whether Lesnar
and in UFC, like I heard of some UFC fighters, but like I never like really like was heavy on UFC. I never really watched UFC heavy like that. You feel me? But I used to I watch it here and there, but not heavy. You feel me?
truly belonged. On the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, Lesnar recounted that, as he and Herring shared the locker room hallway, someone from Herring's side passed and said that they were going to show him that this is real. Lesnar says hearing that right before walking out lit a fire under his ass and helped
Damn.
fuel his aggression in the octagon that night. There were only 2 times in Lesnar's career where he openly taunted and disrespected an opponent inside the octagon. One was against Frank Mir, the other was against Heath Herring. In the Frank Mir case, Frank Mir said that he wants to break Lesnar's neck and kill him inside of the octagon, which led to the unusual aggression from Brock after knocking Mir out. Basically, both occasions were fueled by the trash talk and disrespect he felt in the build-up. He wanted to make an example out of Heath Herring, and on August 9th,
Breaking breaking necks is crazy, bro.
2008, at UFC 87, in front of a packed arena in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Brock Lesnar did exactly that. The opening bell rang, and within seconds, Lesnar charged forward. A massive right hand landed flush on Herring's face, sending him tumbling backwards across the octagon in one of the most violent knockdowns of that year. That single punch shattered Herring's orbital bone, damaging his eye instantly. Lesnar didn't stop
Lesnar violated him. He showed him that he could get real too.
there. He sprinted after him like a predator chasing wounded prey. For the rest of the first round, Lesnar mauled him. He pinned Herring against the cage, dropping hammer fists and knees, smothering him with sheer size and wrestling. The veteran had no answer. In the second round, it became clear the fight wasn't competitive anymore. It was survival. Every time Herring tried to reset on the feet, Lesnar exploded into a takedown, launching him across
Lesnar was too fast for him.
the canvas. The crowd roared as Lesnar, 280 pounds of muscle, rode Herring like a bull, dragging him back down over and over. And by the third round, Herring's face was swollen and his eye nearly shut. Lesnar wasn't even in danger of being submitted or clipped. He was simply controlling every second. Heath Herring didn't win a moment of that fight. One analyst would later call it the worst loss of his career, pointing out that across 15 minutes he hadn't landed a single clean strike. The gatekeeper who was supposed to test Lesnar was broken by him, dominated in a way no one
Damn, he even landed no single punch, and you was talking hot. It's
could have
crazy.
predicted. And just like that, Heath Herring disappeared. In the aftermath, Herring didn't just have to deal with the loss. He was also battling a promotion that he felt had no interest in him. Speaking in frustration after the Lesnar fight, Herring said, "I really don't care too much for them. I don't think they care too much for me. They've got their guys they want to push, guys they want to market. Randy Couture, Brock Lesnar, and Frank Mir are the guys they want to push and market. The problem is, if you're not one of their favorites,
Yo, not to get off topic, but imagine if Kurt Angle was on UFC, bro. Because there has been some talks that Kurt Angle, he wanted to be on UFC, want to try MMA, but like I think like due to his like health, like his neck issues, like it wouldn't allow it. So yeah, but imagine if Kurt Angle was on UFC, it would be crazy.
they want to
He got amateur background too, and he's nice with his hands too.
keep you out of the competition. I'm trying to make money for myself, feed my family, and these guys are trying to do everything they can to make it impossible for me." In 2016, he resurfaced briefly in Japan's Risen promotion after 8 years of disappearing. And 5 months after Lesnar decided to make his comeback. But he wasn't the same man anymore. He lost both of his comeback fights and quietly faded out again.
Damn.
For all intents and purposes, UFC 87 was the night his career truly ended. It's easy to say Heath Herring retired because of age, or because of injuries that piled up after years of brutal wars, but the symbolism is impossible to ignore. His last UFC fight, the one that closed the book on his career at the top level, was against Brock Lesnar, the man he had mocked as a fake fighter, the man he thought he could expose. Instead,
See,
Lesnar not only beat him,
see what talking hot gets you, bro.
he erased him. And Lesnar himself never minimized what Herring represented. In his interview with Steve Austin, he called him a tough bastard, giving him respect for surviving those 15 minutes. He saw it as one of his best performances, right alongside his title win over Randy Couture and his revenge victory against Frank Mir. This fight stands as one of those rare turning points in MMA history, where the trajectories of two fighters collided in opposite directions. And when you look back at it now, all these years later, it almost feels cruel in its poetry. The veteran who said Brock Lesnar didn't belong in a real fight had his career ended by him.
So yeah, bro, that's crazy, bro. Brock Lesnar showed him, bro. He showed him. He violated him. He ended his career and all that, bro. Like, it was never the same again. Career was never the same again, bro. So, and I just now like finding out about this, bro. It's crazy, bro. So yeah, but let me know what y'all think about this video, bro. So yeah, bro, and let me know like what videos y'all want me to watch, bro. Like, cause this is a watch along channel. You feel me? And I want y'all to watch along with me. With I want y'all to watch along with me. You feel me? So yeah, bro. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I know the vibes. The wave you're just looking at you are.